the game. And, I always say that pro football leads college football by about 10 years. So you think about what did we do this year? We brought iPads and we brought the green dot to the helmets.
Yep.
NFL's been doing that for about 10 years,
Sure.
right? So we're finally doing it. I could see kickoffs change in the next 2, 3, 4 years in college football.
Only preseason games, right?
Well,
the only level of football that doesn't have preseason.
I really think we need to spend more time with the NFL and college football. It's something that's always bothered me that those guys do it for a living. They're billionaires. They think about football every day. And, we don't have a real good relationship between college football and the NFL, which I think is a mistake. And I think as we continue to grow, we're the second most favorite sport in the country,
Absolutely.
only behind the NFL.
Right.
And we've even seen it grow this year because there's more teams vying for those 12 spots. So attendance has increased in college football this year. Viewership has wildly increased. ESPN's numbers came out this past week are phenomenal what their viewership was. Partly because they went to ABC with a lot of games, but still there's such an interest in college football that it's a huge phenomenon right now, and this playoff's only going to help it grow even better.
For the loser of this, sorry, go ahead.
Being down in Atlanta, just tell folks, for the holidays, you guys have a great college town for the holidays. If somebody who in this bowl game coming down, what do you want to tell these fans what to do for like a weekend or come down for?
Yeah, Atlanta's got so much to do. Obviously, our hotels, we've got 16,000 hotels right downtown in walking distance to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but also walking distance to College Football Hall of Fame, which is a must-see. If you come to Atlanta, it's a unique, interactive experience. Talk about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, you got the world's largest aquarium. It's a must-see. The Civil and Human Rights Center, the World of Coke. So there's a lot to do right downtown that you can walk to, as well as walk right to the game. So Atlanta's a great place, and we're not a destination city. So frankly, you can get hotel rooms at really low prices, versus some markets, like in LA or a Phoenix or Miami, where they are big destination cities and the rates go up.
And the airfare, you can do it on Priceline. If you get it cheaper, you can go down there for a day.
And you can drive. We got 3 interstates that intersect right in the middle of downtown.
Yes, you do.
So you get into all that traffic too.
Hey Gary, is there one team in the college football you would love to host, for the kickoff classic, down the road that you haven't?
I guess Notre Dame would be my white whale. I had Notre Dame Auburn scheduled, and when they sent the contract back to the SEC wouldn't let the contract go through because the game was going to have to be on NBC.
Oh.
And so SEC tied to the ESPN, they wouldn't let the contract, and CBS wouldn't let the contract go through.
Ah, okay.
It's one of my that I would love to get Notre Dame.
Would you ever want to see Florida State, like Florida State Georgia matchup?
We'd take that too. Florida State's been good to us over the years. You go back to 17 when we opened Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We had Florida State number 3 and Alabama number 1, which we called the GOAT game, the greatest opener of all time.
Yeah, sure.
Just refresh it. Says
You had that nice run all the way to the Final Four. What did you learn from your other players on the bench that might help you out this year, knowing that you have new people coming in?
Well, I'll use Breon Pass, for example. Comes into the Louisville game, DJ Horn's not playing, makes a couple big shots for us. We needed that. What I learned is that everybody on our bench and everybody in our game from last year was invested in NC State basketball, and all they wanted to do was win. And it didn't matter who got the credit as long as we played together.
How have you seen Jaden Taylor?
You won 5 games in 5 days, and then you went on that run to the Final Four. How special was that in that month, pretty much?
Yeah, that was one of the best times of my life for sure. Obviously, won an AC championship. Not many people can say they did that. And then the fact that we go on, win some games to the Final Four. It's something you dream as a kid, is playing in March Madness, winning games, making big plays, big moments. So it really was a dream come true, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And playing those games probably help you guys for this year, because you're playing all those games last year into March. Maybe help you a little bit more getting to know everybody.
We played in big time environment. So you're kind of used to those. We're going to different places or close games. You've been there before, so it's nothing new.
When you look at the people that they have, Cam Ward's going to take them to another level. And on paper, right, you got to go do it. You got to go play. You got to go win. But just kicking things off and starting, it's hard not to be very excited for them. Excited to see what DJ's going to be. I think truly we're going to see his final form. Here at Florida State, I think Coach Heidel is obviously one of the best in the country, developing quarterbacks, but obviously with some offensive mind as well. So, I think he's going to be a guy that surprises a lot of people.
The ACC network to cover the opening game between Florida State and Georgia Tech. So, what are you expecting from post as they start the season? Across the pond?
Yeah, well, sadly, you just made me proud. I don't get a go. So EJ Manuel will be there. Taylor Tannenbaum. So we're only sending Seminoles. They're the ones that get a go. But when you look at the game itself, I mean, what an opportunity, number one, to do something of that nature, to experience that. Obviously, we're playing a football game, and everyone has to prepare accordingly, but very, very cool. And it's a tough test for both teams. When you look at what Georgia Tech is going to provide, they are a great challenge. When you look at their quarterback and running back duo, Haynes King and Jamal Haynes there, it's going to be tough. But I think at the end of the day, the culture that Florida State has built very quickly is going to rise to the top, and those guys are going to just continue to grow and be on their forte.
And one of the key impact games of the year has to be Clemson at Florida State.
Come on. Game of the year, you told me.
It's DJ, faces his old school, old coach in Tallahassee.
That's
So
right.
do you think that would be a game that people do not want to miss?
Yeah, no question. It's much-watched TV. It's going to be a little weird, right? Seeing DJ going and lining up against his Tigers. But it's one of those things that you hope for the best for him. And, you just hope for that matchup to be what it always has, right? And even last year, going into overtime, and being such a great spot for Florida State, finally getting over that mountaintop of beating Clemson again. So I was a part of a lot of great ones. I was a part of one not so great one for you guys.
Yes.
But man, we always loved that game. It's such a great rivalry.
And it's speaking of rivalry, Stanford and Cal, straddle the axis.
Yeah.
Now the ACC. What's your take?
I just want one of the trophies. That's what I want an axe. I want my own axe. Maybe I can add to it and make that happen.
Oh yeah, it's called. And how do you think SMU starts their non-competition year at home against Florida State? So it's like you've got the AAC champ against the ACC champ. So you think that'll be another big game?
Let me ask you this: when's the last time that happened? A conference champion played another conference champion, and it was a conference game. Just tell me the two teams. Who do you think it was?
Now off the top of my head.
Miami and Florida State.
Yes.
That was the last time that it happened. So it's pretty cool that it was us in the ACC kind of doing that. I think it's a welcome to the league moment. That's what it'll be for those guys. And it'll be packed. It'll be loud. They'll be excited. But it certainly will be a fun test.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you always. Y'all do a great job. Thank you, guys.
And enjoy the ACC season. And don't forget, guys, subscribe to the Graham McCammon Playing podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
And you can catch Eric and another ACC Network star, Telegram, because they break down the college football season and the college basketball season come wintertime.
All right, so
Great seeing you. You're awesome.
In the first couple minutes, you guys were down 14-0. Were the guys just nervous? Were they just, because of big atmosphere, or what happened? Because you guys just, it just looked like it was like everything wasn't together until you guys got to the fourth quarter.
Till the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. First few drives of the fourth quarter.
First, you guys in the first quarter.
Got you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But they got together before the fourth quarter? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just understanding the question. Yeah. I mean, I don't think our guys were nervous at all. They were ready to play. The atmosphere was great. They loved it. I mean, we dropped the ball, got strip sacked. They ran a QB draw, pop pass. We thought the entire offensive line was downfield. It wasn't apparently called, so they throw a touchdown. They're up 7-0. Then we punt. Our guy's helmet comes off. He runs like probably any kid would do, but you can't do. We got to make sure they know that. So we get an extra 15. They get 2 short fields, it's 14-0 like that. I don't think it had anything to do with. We just made a few errors and mistakes. It didn't have anything to do with nerves. We responded right away, went right down and scored, 14-7, and then we just didn't finish drives in the first half offensively. We still had more yards at halftime, I think, but we just, we would move it and not finish a drive. We missed a field goal. But I thought we started finding ourselves well before the fourth quarter. We dug such a hole, it was just hard to get back till late.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, Adam, you and I are playing this game of College Football 25. It's a brand new football game for your from EA Sports. So we are going to be playing this game right now. So we're going to show you guys what the graphics look like. So it's supposed to there's any buttons. So see, you got your team there. So you play now. And I'm not going to be. Let's see if I can bring it over here. I could be Florida State. Or, so you guys see all the different teams here. So let's play. I want to see. No, dude, I can play a different team. Okay, I want to be JMU.
Fine.
All right, and you can actually use yours, right?
No.
No? Okay, well, who do you want to be? Hold on, let me see how I can get 2 players here. So this is the game here. Alright, let's see what I can get down. Well, you have to hit start. You hit start. It's in the middle. Yeah, the middle button says PlayStation. Hit that button and it should go right to the next group. Yeah, hit that. All right, and then go down. You got to go down, right? Now you're controlling that. All right, let's just do one player here. So look at
We're gonna do this.
You want to be Florida State?
No. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have a Sun Belt showdown.
Okay. So we're going to try to show you folks what these graphics look like here at college football. Just pick JMU. Just pick JMU because I know that wonderful area of McCackeyville, Virginia. I have to play against. How many play against? Played against the Gators. The Gators.
We're playing at what? I have to represent.
Oh, you missed it. Okay. Go over. I want to be JMU. I don't want to be Appalachian State. Go over to JMU. Go to the Dukes. Hit that. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I guess that one controller is only working for one. I don't know. So, all right, hit ready. And then you got it. Yeah, there we go.
We have to have a Sun Belt showdown because I live in Western North Carolina.
Okay.
I have to represent the Appalachian
North Carolina Mountains is indoor stadium. The Appalachian State Mountaineers and food is ready for this one. Today, a showdown of the football is on the Sun Belt. As we'll see, the James Madison Dukes taking on the Appalachian State.
I know the broadcaster for the Dukes, Kurt Dudley. He'll be like, "All right, it's time for James Madison Dukes taking on the the Appalachian State and the Mountaineers. All right, here we go. And you need it. All right, who the heck is that guy? Folks, look at the graphics for this game. All right, so we're gonna. Morris is the quarterback from Washington. I guess Chris Cicadelli is now with the Indiana Hoosiers, so it's a guy from Holy Cross. Look at that, folks. So, Adam, what do you think about the graphics?
Oh, this game is awesome. I love it.
Here's more. They got the running game on. So, it's really cool graphics here, folks. So, what is Adam going to do? See, look at the stadium pulse, people. Look at it. Look at that. You actually feel like you're in Boone. Nice catch, buddy. Move the chains. Move the chains. First down, JMU Dukes. Here in the first quarter.
Nice run there on first down. This is a running back that gets better as the game goes on. So you really want to make sure they keep feeding the football to him and
On first down and 2nd and 6. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Using that running game with religion. He's got forward out of the 33.
The defending ACC champs and your rival Florida State this year.
You said what?
What will it be like with the defending ACC champs and your rival Florida State this year?
It's gonna be a good game for sure. I got a chance to take the visit up there to Tallahassee. It was a great visit up there. Me and Orville. But I'm excited for that game. They're gonna be excited for that game. They come to Miami this year. But both teams, we gotta be on their A game, and the best team gonna win.
Cam, question. I have a fan send me a question to ask you. What's the difference between Miami's offense, working on it right now, compared to your offense last year at Washington State? Is there any similarities? Or is there any?
There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of different stuff. I'd probably say the biggest difference is just the different run game that we do here versus the different run game we did at Wazoo. A lot of pass concepts from Wazoo are here in Miami, but it's a lot of pass concepts that Miami ran last year that we're still running that they're very good at. So we got a blend of both. That's why I say, like, Coach Dawson let me come in, just let me, have an input on some stuff. I've been grateful to have that because not a lot of guys can get that, authority. And it's been working for us. And so with Dawson, he knows how to call plays. He's a great play caller. It's crazy because it'd be time in spring ball. I'm literally thinking a play in my head, and all of a sudden I just hear it on the headset. I'm like, yeah, this is my shit. You know what I'm thinking. I already know it's going to be a first down. So we mesh together well, me, him, and Coach Driscoll. We just got to keep that going, just take it one play at a time, one drive at a time before season.
Yeah, and I got to ask you real quick. You went on the boat fishing.
Yes, sir.
Are you a fisherman or not?
I am a fisherman.
Okay, cool.
I'm a fisherman for sure. I like the South Texas fishing better just because I can go by the dock and just throw the pole.
Just throw it in there, yeah.
You gotta really, if you want some good fish out there in Miami, you gotta go on the boat. You gotta chum a little bit. It's just a lot of extra stuff, I would say, but you do get some good fish, so it is worth it. But I like the relaxed fishing though. I went peacock for bass fish for the first time with Elijah Arroyo, the tight end. He put me on that, so I'm gonna go with him some more during camp. That's really our vibe because if you get in Miami, you try to do too much, ain't gonna get too good for you. You gotta stick to a routine, get to a routine and stick to it. Same stuff every day. That's what I do.
I went down to Alabama and I got I caught red snapper.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you got 3 of them and some Macklin. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a charter boat, and had fun doing it. But I always felt like I was falling over because I got to get my balance. It's like I'm a big guy. I'm like, oh god. Yeah, but
I'm gonna go fish when I'm back home too. I'm going home tomorrow, so I'm gonna get on that water for sure.
Nice. Well, have a safe trip home.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man.
Matt Treconelli from Herb FM Sports Radio. So Bryson, what are some positives you can take from this season?
Obviously, it's been a great season. We've played a lot of good games, fought through some things. Still a very positive season overall. We're happy, how the first 12 games went. Extremely disappointed tonight. Hard to see those positives right now, but it's still been a very positive season for Army football.
And also, what are some lessons that you guys can learn from tonight's game, moving yourself forward?
One thing we're focusing on is just getting the little things right. Mess up a lot of little things today and throughout the week, maybe in practice. That shows up on the field. So, and just for those younger guys, feeling this loss, feeling this pain, and just never letting it happen again.
Pete was when I was a true freshman there. Pete was probably about 26, 27.
Okay.
And we used to call him the Surfer Boy.
Whoa. Okay.
And then our defensive coordinator was Monty Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monty Kiffin was our defensive coordinator, and Lane Kiffin was very young. He was probably in his probably 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's bring in our next guest with you. This is Scott Wyckoff. You probably know Scott Wyckoff. He was working at WBAL, and he does all the stuff with Navy. So he's actually down there right now. Hi, Scott.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys.
Here, he used to be one of the coaches for Army back in the day. So we're getting ready for Army Navy. So where are you right now?
Well, I'm in the right outside the Army Hotel.
Are you really?
Army.
Tell Coach Munkin, Coach O said hello.
I will. Coach Munkin, amazingly enough, I think I did the only interview this week with Coach Munkin where he didn't at the end say beat Navy. Because the thing was, they have a big press conference every year in the host city, and they had it here in D.C. this week. But there was that huge fog we had early in the week, and Coach Munkin and his all-star quarterback, Captain America, Bryson Daly, they couldn't get there because of the fog.
Oh, wow.
The same thing. We're on the computer talking to him and interviewing him. But, man, I tell you, there is more buzz, Coach. You probably get the sense of this. For these two teams, 19 wins between these two teams, the most ever.
Wow. Both programs have had a great year. They've done some really great things. I know Navy went through a little transition, but they were able to rebound and get it started up again. They made some adjustments on their staff, and sometimes that's all it takes. A couple adjustments, do some different things. They are doing some different things on offense, very similar but a little different. They're throwing the ball just like Army is too. Army is doing some different things, and that quarterback, he's special. And I've always said, and even when Coach Munkin and I worked together at Georgia Southern, I've always said that everything starts with a quarterback, and that's at every level. At high school, college, and NFL. If you don't have that, that trigger man, it's hard to win if you don't have that trigger person.
Well, you're right, Coach, because Blake Horvath was putting up numbers just like Bryson Daly with the 6-game winning streak. And then, he went into that Notre Dame game a little nicked. And then when he got injured those two games, that's like you say, that's when Navy stumbled. But in the last 2 weeks, he is healthy. I've been watching him practice. He's dipping the football. And really interesting, Coach, that the head coach of Mercer, Drew Crockett, an FCS power, I believe, to come to be a coordinator at the Naval Academy. And I'm telling you, if Blake Horvath hadn't gotten injured, he might be getting some of the offers for these head coaching jobs now. Because they call it the millennial wing T, and you
Yes, yes.
Yep.
I'm very familiar with that
I mean,
offense because we
Pete Bell-
played against them.
He's put together the wing T with the triple option.
Correct. It's a little twist, just a little tad twist that really, creates problems for the defense.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
And Navy's defense hasn't been a problem in the last few years. It's been the offense. They've
Correct.
really struggled. And like you said, it's so important in these games to have a quarterback you can rely on.
Yes, and then and also what's going to come down to these games here, and when you're playing against each other, because they're very similar offensively. So it really comes down to who's going to be the most physical team on the field, and usually the most physical team on the field that makes the least mistakes will win the game.
And how about that Army offensive line?
They're
300 pounds.
Hey, they can play anywhere in the country. They can play anywhere in the country. That's how good they are.
300-pound lineman when you were in Army?
Well, that's something. It was starting. We were starting to get to that down that street because he was working on getting these young men to be bigger and hopefully not having to lose that weight until after they finish their eligibility, and now they get before they get commissioned.
You don't even recognize those guys at the banquet in the spring because they've lost.
You're exactly right. Now, and is Navy offensive line that big also?
They're not that big. They're in the 280, 275 range.
Mm-hmm.
The big difference with this Navy offense is this line, and they're coached by a young guy who championship game teams at Clemson with Deshaun Watson. And he says Blake Horvath has as much talent as a college quarterback as Deshaun Watson had. He said,
wow.
Big offensive lineman and was on a bigger stage. But yeah, the Navy offensive line is really taking a step up this year. But I'm telling you, that Army defense, they are relentless the way they run to the football.
They do. They do a good job. That's something, you got to credit, Coach Monken with that. That's something, ever since I've been with him at Georgia Southern, he made a big deal about us running to the football on defense. And he felt as long as you run to the football, even when you make mistakes and you're running to the football, you can make up for those mistakes when you run into the ball.
Yeah, and they really and offensively, one thing we've talked about is the fact how Army falls forward. They always seem to fall forward. And I talked to Colin Ramos, the All-American Athletic Conference captain and linebacker for Navy. He says the key is getting on top of them. Get on top, not falling forward.
Yep, you're exactly right. That's Coach Monken's trait. You want to fall forward and you don't run out of bounds. No. He was always getting on the backs and the quarterbacks about running out of bounds. Don't run out of bounds. You keep fighting for that extra yard.
But how about Brian Newberry from Kennesaw State and
I know
South and what he's done defensively and now the Baylor grad putting his name and his mark on this Navy team.
Yes, he's done a nice job. He's done a really nice job. I think Navy's done a great job all year long. It's going to be an amazing game to see two good teams, and right now they're all firing in all cylinders. So it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sit home, relax, and be warm, and not have to worry about how cold is it down there.
It's cold. It's
okay. So I'm down here in South Georgia, so I'm going to just sit back and enjoy it, and enjoy the game, and like I always tell everybody, go Army, beat Navy.
Well,
Hey Scott, I have to ask you a question. With these Army Navy games, should be a high scoring game this year because both offenses clicking?
They say that. I'm still going to say it's going to be a low scoring game because of the defense, and it's going to be a physical game.
Okay.
And because both teams knows what each other is doing. So sometimes when you know what each side of the ball is doing, it's hard to score a lot of points. So I think it'll be a low scoring game, a real physical game, just like a typical Army Navy game, down to the wire.
First to 21. There you go.
Time of possession is going to be a key. I mean, if you can drive that ball and take 8 minutes off the clock and punch it in the end zone, And that's what both Army and Navy did when they on their winning streaks.
Good.
They dominated time of possession, and what is different with Navy this year is, though they can dominate in time of possession, they've got playmakers who can hit the big play. They've had 9-yard touchdowns. They've had 5-yard touchdowns. So that's kind of the new look that they're trying to bring into it, trying to be a little bit more explosive, work more from the gun, because it's hard recruiting kids to be athletes if you're not in the gun.
That is true. That is so true, because it's hard to find quarterbacks these days that are under center. So most high schools around the country, everything's out of the gun. So it's easy to find quarterbacks that can run this offense in the gun.
Yeah. We should do this every year. We should have like the Navy Army pregame show, unofficial pregame show. We should review Coach Cohen.
This is fun.
This is so good. I'm just sitting back here. I'm thinking,
No problem. Just
this is great. I'm enjoying this right now. I'm like,
pencil me in.
Wonderful. And I appreciate that. This is great.
This is fun.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing we do the Florida State stuff during the off season, during the regular season, and I feel like we should continue doing this with Army Navy next year.
Now, are they pretty healthy? Is Navy pretty healthy right now?
Navy has, and they have the advantage, Coach, of having those 2 weeks because they didn't play in the conference.
Right. That's right, because they finished 2 weeks ago. They finished their conference play 2 weeks ago, and then Army had to play last Friday in the championship game.
That's right. And I remember back in 2016, Navy played in the championship game, and they had a quarterback named Worth who had a fantastic season, but he got hurt in the championship game, and they had to start a plebe in the Army-Navy game, and that's when the streak ended. And that's when Army ended the streak with a plebe quarterback. So
I don't think that Monken's going to have a letdown. I'm sure they practiced well this week, and he probably didn't beat them up too much. And I think they'll be fresh and be ready to play. The key thing that I think he'll talk to them about is the things that they have to look forward to down the road. They still got